Welcome back, Portal Masters. SCL Matt here with another. I don't know what this is anymore. I mean, it's not playing through the game actually. I'm just bouncing around playing extra content. But more importantly, today I have Pirate Dad with me. He's
Hey
down there.
everyone. Hey, how's it going?
It's Yoshi, Terrapog, Dan. Glad you could make it here right at the beginning. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, this is a unusual crew to be here early.
Hey guys.
But I'm happy to see y'all here. As I put out a brief tweet like half an hour ago, like, hey, Pirate Dad's gonna be here. Bring your questions. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll try to get anything you have, anything you ask answered.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, yeah, we'll just be bumming around and chatting about Skylanders, whatever we feel like. So, I think just to get things started while people start piling in here, and if we see if we get any questions, we're just talking about it beforehand, and I know I've mentioned it on stream at least once before, but like there's a possibility of 601 collectible figures. So for anybody who doesn't know, Pirate Dad, in my opinion, I correct me if I'm wrong, but is kind of the keeper of the official list of collectible Skylanders figures.
I'm like the unofficial keeper. It's not exactly the thing, but yeah, I'm pretty much one of the head people that's keeping track of it all.
Awesome. So I mean, over the years, we've had all the figures that were released commercially, and that total's been going up and up and up. And then it was just, was that this year you decided to move it to 600?
Yes, it was earlier this year where we discovered that Happy Birthday Ben Starcast is in fact an actual chase variant and is not a custom figure. And because of that we bumped it up from $5.99 to $600. And now we might be doing that again.
And that's exciting. I mean, for 4 years, basically after the last release of a figure, we're still finding new figures.
Somehow.
I love it. I love it. And it wouldn't happen if you guys weren't here consistently following Skylanders and digging into all the, I mean, just constantly on the lookout for new figures, new packs, new everything.
Yeah. And with 601 in particular, actually, it's not actually something any of myself or Skylanders Eon or any of those people actually discovered. It was someone else that was in one of the Discord servers who discovered this, and we looked into it. And yeah, so if you want to keep up to date on all that stuff, the Discord server is the best place to.
Well, tell you what, people want to know what 601 is, so I'm gonna jump into a bonus level here to give a little bit of background.
How may I help you?
But then I'm gonna let you explain as much as you can right now what 601 would be.
Yeah, so 601 is a potentially new hot streak figure. And I say new, it's not really new. It's been around forever, but new in this case. And basically, the Skylanders Chargers
in the Elderfish Sanctuary, but that hasn't stopped the
the hot streak in there actually
by destroying these giant
different from the normal one. When you put it on the portal in the mobile game, it's supposed to unlock the full game. That's sort of why it's different, but it actually shows up with a special attack, just like most chase variants do. And so because of that, it has its own magic moment, which shows up separately in the in-game collection menu. And yeah, because of that, it might technically be a separate hot streak figure depending on what people's point of view is, but yeah, so tablet hot streak figure included.
That's awesome. Yeah. I apologize if that in my headphones at least the game really outpowers you. So I'm gonna crank that down for now.
Yeah, might have been a little bit.
Yeah. I don't want to go with no sound, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. Anyway, did everybody catch that? 601, the tablet hot streak. Yeah. That, I mean, just how do you like? It wouldn't even occur to me to look for things like that.
Yeah, just someone one day in one of the Discord servers, they're like, "Hey, my hot streak actually shows up as special in the game. Is this normal?" And just went from there. And it's just really by chance that these things happen.
I suppose. I mean, it's also, like I said, you have to be constantly on the lookout for what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, Dan, thank you for that comment. Is the volume a little bit better now? Like it still sounds
better on my end, I think.
It's a little what?
It's a little better on my end.
Okay. Because yeah, there's only so much control I have. If I have to, I'll just straight up mute it. At least while you're talking about important stuff.
Yeah.
Like we can just go like that. Actually, I don't need too much sound for this stuff. So, I mean, it's nice to have the background music, especially when it's just me here. But when I have someone to talk to, okay, it was definitely lower out there too. So we'll see. We'll see if I get bored with no background music. But I'm guessing.
Hey, Chatterbug. Hey, Akasha.
Definitely not going to make the time on this run now. I'm letting this run too long. Hot dog.
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's funny that Hot Streak of all figures is the one that there'd be another one, because there's already 4 Hot Streak figures and now maybe a 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I think Hot Streak has more in-game variants for that specific figure than any other figure.
Really?
And if I'm not mistaken, it has 3 in-game variants for the singular standard figure.
Sure. Yeah, I never thought about it like that, because I mean, the amount of like in-game variants is the whole thing. It's like there aren't actually any chase variants for Hot Streak, right? They're all in-game?
Yes, except for 601. Like, I'm not really sure if it would be an in-game or a chase variant, because it's really neither. It's like
because it's not it's a very technical variant.
Right. I would say it's a chase variant just because it's a non-in-game variant. It shows up the same in-game as regular Hot Streak, just with the special tags. So that would incline me to say that it's a chase variant.
And especially nowadays, since like everything is opened already, it's gonna be the chase is on.
Oh yeah, like it's not like it's an uncommon figure. It's a starter pack figure, just like regular Hot Streak. There are tons and tons and tons of tablet starter packs produced.
Yeah.
And the only really problem is if you're trying to find it and it's out of box, then it's going to be a real hunt.
Have you been able to find out, like, are there any different markings or different model number or anything on the figure that we know about?
I have not checked the model number yet, but there aren't any other different markings from what I can tell.
Yeah, like I wouldn't expect too much, but maybe just a small. I mean, I'm almost just wondering if there's some marking on it that we can use like we do with the blue chests.
Yeah.
That isn't technically a model number, but it works for our purposes.
Right. Yeah, I'll check that after the stream, actually.
Okay. That would be useful, because yeah, I mean, I see a fair number of Hot Streaks come in. I assume most of them are probably not from mobile starter packs.
Of course.
Like, I don't think I've gotten any mobile portals. Like I have, shoot. I think I have a mobile portal. Like I think I bought that at one point.
Oh, well.
But I don't know if I saved that hot streak. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, that'll be something to look out for when you're testing the figures.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull out my. Well, we might just have to play Superchargers next after Swap Force.
Yeah.
But yeah, that. Oh man, I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be one of those. If I got rid of it, I'm gonna be kicking myself again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
kinda like I kicked myself for not picking up the UFO hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I walked past it in Target, and it's like, no, I already have mine pre-ordered elsewhere. I don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have some version of that story.
Mm-hmm. Like looking back at it now, like I always say I wanted to just ask them. It's like, hey, could I have your leftover pre-order cards? Or even if you want me to pay $1 per card, I will do that.
Definitely.
Like that would be a fantastic like giveaway item now.
I mean, I don't know if that would be something Target would have saved, but I mean, if they did, I'm sure they're still around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they have no reason to save them. That kind of stuff goes in the garbage for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, you just got to catch the employee like when they're resetting it, a month after the launch. It's like you don't need those pre-order cards anymore.
Right.
Actually, probably could have done the day of launch. Like,
yeah, I definitely wanted to pick up like some of the store display kind of stuff. When they're switching between or switching to the next game and they're getting rid of all the previous game stuff, that would have been some cool things to pick up if I had decided to.
Sure.
Because that stuff, is just going to go in the garbage.
Yep.
All right. Wolf Shadow asks, I have a question. Do you need Robo or Wildstorm to get the level or chest? So Robo and Wildstorm, the actual senses themselves, they act as the level piece, the location piece.
Yes,
and
sir.
So when you place Wildstorm on the portal, it will unlock Cursed Tiki Temple, the level, and just the same with Robo and Lost Imaginite Mines. The actual chests themselves, they don't unlock the items. The actual chest unlocks the new items, but each chest has their own specific items they unlock.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, I mean I think that moves into Darth Joker's question there too. Is there any difference between the two blue chests? Absolutely there is, and that's the each chest has very specific items that it unlocks, and that's why they come with those packs. Unlike the bronze, silver, and gold chests, which are actually random, like they just unlock a certain number of items and a certain rarity of item. The blue chests unlock specific items.
Right.
So yes, there is a difference, and that's why we needed to tell them apart.
Mm-hmm. And if you're asking about like the actual figures, they're pretty much identical figures. The only difference is on the bottom, there's a little printed number. And I mean, there's like 3 or maybe even 4 possible numbers that can be on the bottom of that. And you can sort of use that to figure out which one is which. I don't think I've quite figured out all of them though, but yeah.
Yep, that's what I was working on. There's 2 main numbers that seem to cover the bulk of them. And so it's the W0171. That should be Cursed Tiki Temple. And the W2179 should be Lost Imaginite Mines. Those are the 2 that we see most often. But like I said, there's been some discrepancy when searching. So, Still working on that. Don't want to make a definitive ruling that those are the only 2 numbers out there, but
I've seen 1 or 2 others.
Yeah, I haven't seen them personally. I've been told there are others when I ask around for stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, great question.
Yes, gamer. He's one of those guys with an enormous collection.
Yes. Well, there's a few that have bigger collections than me, and I'm jealous.
I mean, well, yes and no. You have a few different collections going on. So, I mean, you don't have, 600 unique figures, like the full 600, but you do have, like, you're collecting new in-box stuff, and you collect some, like, factory error stuff, and you collect just other weird random things that I guarantee you not everybody has.
That is true, yeah. I don't think everyone has a pair of Eruptor 3D glasses.
No. See, couldn't have told you those exist. I in one of the Discords I just saw floating around, they were talking about the Skylanders speakers. They're like speakers.
Yeah, I think I know which ones you're talking about. There was a Stealth Elf one, an Eruptor, and a Pop Fizz, and a Wrecking Ball, maybe.
Yeah, they were trying to say the Wrecking Ball was the best one because, like, the speaker's kind of round, and so
yeah, that does make sense. All right, Spartan asks, actually no, sorry. Wolf Shadow 1212 says, another question: how do you tell if the chest has been used? So, Imaginite chests can be used once per profile on your console. So let's say that you have your specific personal profile on your Xbox 360. You can load up multiple save files in the game under that profile. Once you use a chest once in one of those save files, that'll be the only time you can use it for that. But then let's say you sign out of your Xbox profile and your sister signs into hers on there, then she can go ahead and use that chest again there.
Yep. So they're not one-time use things. Like, everybody can use them, and that's why, like, I can resell them, is because they can be reused.
Right. Spartan asks, I've never played Imaginators. Are chests something that you have to buy to get 100%? So I'm not sure if Imaginator parts actually count towards a 100% profile. I think they might.
I think they do.
Yeah. And so in that case, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 blue chests are required for that, because the other chests are random, and those are parts that you can get other ways in the game. You don't need the bronze, silver, gold, but the 2 blue chests, I believe you do have to get 100% on your profile.
That's exactly how I'd answer that too. Like, we were just talking about the blue chests give you very specific pieces, so you need them. That's the only way you can get them. But the other pieces, like, it'll take you much longer to get without buying chests, but you can certainly do it.
Definitely. Wolf Shadow 1212 asks, gotta go, last question. What Skylander has the longest reposes? Well, if you're getting what I think you're getting at, I would say Gilgrunt has the most reposes. There was, of course, Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, Series 4, and then he had a Supercharger as well. And Supercharger isn't a repose, it's a remaster. It's a reimagined Skylander, excuse me. But yeah, so Gilgrunt has the most reposes of any Skylander.
Yeah, very true. There's a Figure Focus episode about it.
Yep.
Check it out.
But after the stream.
After the stream, there you go. Or open a new window. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you can multitask and watch 2 videos at once.
Akasha asks, how many figures are you missing, Pirate Dad? Well, actually, just last night, I had a package arrive.
Oh boy.
And that brings my overall total up to 562.
Nice.
And that's considering that there's 600 figures.
Okay.
Not counting Hot Streak yet. And so 562 out of 600. That is how many I have. So that'd be 38 missing, if my math is correct.
I have 62. Yeah, 38. All right. Might actually be able to get this time. Wasting too much time in the other runs. So yeah, other than 601, what else you been working on? Or actually, what did you just get in the mail? Have you showed me that yet, or have I seen that?
I have not showed you that, and I have it sitting over here if you want me to grab it really quick.
Yeah, let me just finish this level. I'm almost done.
I got you.
And then we'll pull it up here.
Gamer312 asked, does Pirate Dad have bronze and silver trap shadow? Yes, I do, and it's still new in box. Very proud of that. It's the only of the dual metallic swapper chases I have.
Nice. I had which one do you have?
Bronze and silver trap shadow.
Okay, yeah, that's actually the one I had too. It was in box, but the card had come off.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I got a good deal on it. Nice. And then I sold it later. Unfortunately, so I don't have it anymore, and I didn't quite get my 3-star on that one. Oh, well. All right, we're gonna put Pirate Dad on the big screen.
Well, actually, oh boy, I was actually not to go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it. We'll take my other screen back here, or I can come on the big screen.
I got it. So this actually might surprise a few people that I'm getting this only just now. But I have the Life Mini double pack. So before yesterday, I did not have the Whisper Elf Mini.
At all?
At all. I never did.
Wow.
And but I mean, it's a very important figure for me because it is the last non-variant Skylander that I needed. It is the second to last Trap Team figure I needed. And it's actually the last poster figure I needed overall.
Wow.
Plus, back in the day, I had a friend who we used to play Skylanders all the time. He sort of grew out of it over time, but the one figure the one figure he found that I never did was this. And yeah, so there it is. I got this yesterday.
Nicely done. I mean, that checks off a lot of boxes for you. And I mean, what people need to understand too is like you have a thing to that you need to buy everything new in box, right? Like that's part of your goal.
Yeah, that is my goal. Every single item, figure or not, I've gotten new in box.
So the question is like, do you keep them new in box?
Some of them, yes.
Okay.
Many of them, no. Anything. So, back in the day, I'm only 20 years old, so I grew up with Skylanders. I was a kid when they were releasing the games, and so of course I opened a lot of my figures. And anything today, like if it's something like this, which has more than one figure in the pack, I'll open it just to get the single figure out. Other than that, nowadays I keep it all new in box.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and so
I think my rule would be like keep the variants at least the chase variants, maybe all variants in box. So then I have the regular version to play with. But
yeah, I'm definitely trying to re-get some of the variants and keep them new in box as well. So I have one out of box, one new in box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sheriff Fox says, "Don't tell Matt about your secret stash of Heartbreaker buckshot. Don't worry, I won't. That is just between us. I'll never know."
Yeah. if you have a secret stash, I'm wondering why I don't have one in my collection by now. I mean, stash implies more than one, so.
That is true.
Okay, now what? I must be getting hit too much. We'll come back to that one later. We'll play a new one.
By the way, I apologize if I'm sniffling a little bit. I haven't been feeling well the past few days, so don't mind that.
It's okay. You're on the other side of the internet. You're not going to get me sick. Okay. But yeah. So what's next on your list?
Well, I actually just purchased something last night, which will I won't reveal what it is until it actually arrives, but it's one of probably the coolest things that I've ever gotten. I'll say that at least.
So is it not a figure then?
It is, but it's more than that. I can explain without giving it away, but it is a very, very special, unique figure.
All right.
But as far as what is next for me, I mean, really, how I decide what I'm going to get is just, what's out there. If something has quite a few listings, I probably won't go for it because I know I can get that later. It's still going to be there.
Yep.
And so I'm going more for those unique things that are not going to be there next week.
Makes sense.
And so that's why I actually put off getting this for so long, the Life Minis, is because I know, well, there's listings out there for them. I can get that anytime I want.
So when do you have any specific price requirements? Like you have a goal you have to meet for each figure. You won't buy it until it hits this price, or you can find it for that price, or you just when you feel like it and you have the cash, you go and buy it.
Pretty much just when I have the cash for whatever they're asking, as long as I feel it's a fair price, and there's not any better prices out there for the same condition, then I'll probably go for it.
So it's always on a case-by-case basis.
Exactly. Yeah. Biggest thing is just that, is it a fair price? And are there no better prices for the same thing in the same condition?
Yeah. So I think I've asked you before, but what's... Well, no, I think you gave me a cheater answer last time. What's the most you paid for a single figure?
Well, a figure by itself.
Yeah, that's what you did last time. It's no, not the one that came with the system.
Yeah,
just like a figure.
Single figure by itself. I want to say maybe. I don't remember for sure. I want to say maybe $350, something like that.
Okay. And what was that?
That was probably Crystal Clear Whirlwind.
Okay. That's not bad for Whirlwind.
Yeah, she's come down in price.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Her and red camo. They're no longer going for $800.
Yes. No matter what you read in articles that were written this month. Yes, there are still people asking that price on eBay, but people aren't paying that anymore.
Right.
I have no idea where I'm going in this level. It looks like a dead hill. Okay.
There's a lock.
Apparently, I was not paying attention to this gate before.
Is that a teleporter pad, maybe? Something like that.
Something like that. One of those jump pads you have to charge.
Launch pad. Whatever the term is, the technical term.
Launch pad McQuack.
That's it. Excuse me.
Wrong shirt for that today. Okay, you guys need to go. life, guys.
All right, so let's see.
Master Chef. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Martin says, okay, so Lost Imaginite Mines chest number W0171, and then with a dot after it, which I've seen that before with the dot there. And then Cursed Tiki Temple chest number W1172. All right, then. Appreciate it.
1172. 1172 or 0172?
It says here 1172.
Because I've heard 0172. I haven't heard 1172. So that's interesting.
Silver Phantom, $800. So about a year ago, if you were looking on eBay for Clear Whirlwind or Red Camel, they were going for about $800 a piece, new in box. But since then, I'd say a year and a half ago, but since then they've come down a lot in price, which is good.
Yeah, that's very good. I mean, like I understood where they were at when they first came out, because they were new, they were rare. We didn't know exactly how rare they were gonna be, and just the means of getting them was near impossible for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. See you, Pumpkin Eyebrow. See you, Darth Joker.
Yeah, have a good day, guys.
Stopping by. Aaron Torman asks, do you think Skylanders will keep their value in, let's say, 10 years? I mean, there's really no way to say. It's just if, the community is still thriving then, which I really hope it is, then I'm sure they definitely will keep their value. Of course, things are going to go up and down as time goes on, just like they always have.
Yeah.
And so, some figures may be worth more in 10 years, some less, but it really just depends on how active the community is. And, if the community is active, that means people are wanting to buy the figures, and if people want to buy the figures, then they'll hold their value for the most part.
And honestly, that's part of the reason I came back is like, I realized, okay, Skylanders are collectible. Like that's where the community has gone right now. Like, it doesn't matter if there's new games coming out. It doesn't matter if there's new figures coming out. Skylanders are collectible. And I was talking about this with someone yesterday, actually, like trying to compare it to something like Masters of the Universe or something like that, where they're at a point now where it's a multi-generational thing. And so it's parents that grew up with it are sharing it with their kids, and their kids are getting into it. And it has reached that point where, yeah, they're going to be collectible. They're going to be around for the long haul. Skylanders isn't at that point yet, but I think it definitely has potential. And I think if enough of us say, hey, yeah, no, we're going to keep collecting these things, we are going to give these things value, then yeah, down the road, 10 years, they will still have value.
Definitely.
So,
Kasha asks, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's just going to be interesting to see what Activision decides to do with the franchise in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
that
and
may help or hurt it as well.
Of course, if Activision puts out another game, whether it's a mobile game or whether it's a full console game like they have in the past, if it does well, then Skylanders are going to remain valuable
for sure.
Like, even if they decide, which I really hope they don't, but I could see an argument being made for why they wouldn't have the old figures compatible. But whether they do or don't, the fact they make a new game would keep their value up.
Just introducing the Skylanders brand to a new audience, and then they start doing their research on the internet and find out, hey, this isn't a brand new thing. These have been around for a while. Let's go check that out.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Basically, there isn't much that Activision could do that would hurt the value of the figures. Just about like anything they would do, even just mentioning Skylanders again, would be enough to help keep that value up. So
definitely. Akasha asks, Pirate Dad, do you have insurance, like renter's insurance for your Skylanders? I probably should, but
yeah, at your level, I would definitely consider it. Honestly, in most cases, renter's insurance will actually cover collectibles like that.
mhm,
You just got to be sure to keep track of them.
right.
Have documentation of what figures you have, and
yeah.
yeah.
Martin says it's hard to see with my eyes, but definitely not 0. It's a 1. Talking about that blue chest.
Got it.
All right then.
Yeah, I'll have to make a note of that.
Gamer312 says, question for Pirate Dad, favorite Skylander from the first 2 games? For me, I gotta say Tree Rex, just because he's my favorite Skylander overall. He was my first Skylander, and he's awesome. Great character design, great personality, great gameplay, all the above. It checks all the boxes. And so gotta say Tree Rex for me.
Does the lack of speed from Tree Rex ever bother you?
It doesn't really, because he has a dash attack. The Sequoia speed is secondary. And that tends to make up for it. I mean, I haven't ever really had a problem with slow Skylanders in general, personally.
That's the thing that bothers me the most.
But his dash attack definitely helps a lot.
Speaking of which, I always said she didn't need one, but she's already fast enough. But we might as well give her the hat. So
nice. Plus 15 speed. Wow.
Yep. It's the only hat they wear. All my Skylanders wear this hat until I find a better one.
There you go.
But like, I don't even notice it with Roller Roll because she's fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you give her a dash attack too. I remember to use it.
Martin asks, Pirate Dad, are you a cheesehead like Matt? And Matt, well done on the thousandth figure sold, plus I want a piece of food hat. Well, I live in California, and so I would not consider myself a cheesehead. I don't really follow sports that much in general.
I know cheeseheads that live in California.
But so I would say no, but yeah, I agree with well done on the 1000th figure. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a big milestone.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost to 200 orders as well now.
Oh, wow.
Like, these orders just keep coming in. I love it. I haven't checked recently where we are in number of figures sold, but we just hit 1,000, so I don't think we'll be hitting another milestone anytime soon. Yeah.
Spartan says Tree Rex is definitely the best giant. Yes, agreed. They really pick and choose like which Skylanders are in the starter packs, and they put some of the best ones in there, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, even characters like Snapshot, like people give him a hard time because, oh, he's a starter pack figure, but I'm like, he's a starter pack figure for a reason. Right.
He's got amazing gameplay.
Yep.
Food fight is in my opinion.
Yep.
But
that goes to the Trap Team core problem as well.
Yeah. You just got overshadowed.
Yep. I mean, they already created 18 Trap Masters, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna create 18 more core figures and 16 minis. Like, just stop. Like that was Trap Team's downfall, was too many characters, whereas Swap Force's downfall was too much content. Oh wait, hold on.
Akasha asks, Pirate Dad, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living? So I am a shift supervisor at a pizza restaurant, and I'm actually about to be the assistant manager too. So
nice.
That's exciting. But that is what I do for a living at the moment. Yeah, it's not anything super big, but you know, I'm only 20 years old, so
hey,
What can you do?
That's exactly what I was doing when I was 20. Actually, I was older than that. You know, I was delivering pizza, and if I hadn't gotten married and moved away from that job, I very well could have been headed in the manager position as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's one of those jobs that's never going to go away. So
yeah, definitely. Looks like you're making good time in the challenge.
Hopefully. But now I got this boss who like always hits you. Like you can jump out of the way last second and he'll actually rotate and hit you. Like I found that's the problem. Hey, stop healing him. Then he gets like 12 of these life spell punks. Oh, there, he actually fell over this time. Otherwise, it feels like he always just runs after you forever, and then if you see, jump out of the way, he still swings and hits you. Like he's actually a competent bad guy.
Yeah. Gamer312 asked, does Pirate Dad have a YouTube channel? Because if so, I can't find it. So I do not have a YouTube channel. But
I can't find it.
Yeah. I might soon. We'll see.
Ooh. I mean, usually you're teasing the figures you're getting, but now you're teasing YouTube
upcoming
channels.
projects. Yeah.
Almost had you with rollerball. That would have been fun. There we go. That round felt better than the last round, but we'll see. Should at least get 2 stars, right?
Definitely.
Not a huge time bonus, though. Oof. That was worse than the first run. What happened?
That felt so much better, too.
Yeah. I am really confused by that one. Huh. Unless I'm thinking of a different round. Like, because in my mind, last time I had like 201. So that must have been a different round I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Apparently, I can't get hit. I have to keep that multiplier up.
Gotcha. See you, gamer. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, Jojo, I got to use Roller Brawl's Bull Rush. I realized that partway through the last fight. It's like, oh, I can actually knock him over. Okay, I should probably do that more because then I don't get hit. But all right, we'll keep going. Let's see, where are we on time? Oh, we're good on time. Cool.
Oh wow, we've already been going for 43 minutes.
I'm telling you, time flies when you do this, man.
It really does.
But yeah, I only got 2 hours today, so.
Obsession says, I started taking pictures of all my figures and I am about halfway done. Then I need to name them. All right. Good luck.
When you say you need to name them, you mean like name the files, or are you giving them alternate names? And does this picture taking project have a what am I doing? Oh, bring cake. Okay. What is the purpose of taking the pictures? Like, do you have another project that you're working on? Because that's something I need to do eventually too. I need to find someone who has all the variants and ideally out of box, so we can take pictures of them.
Yeah, definitely. It hurts to see, you know, a Snow Bright Stormblade that's been taken out of its box, but
people have done it. I know.
Yeah. Terrapog says, I'd 100% cut the minis from Trap Team.
Hey,
actually,
you know my theory on that.
So actually, just yesterday, Skylanders Eon discovered that Spry and Bop were planned for Spyro's Adventure as sidekicks.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, he found some old concept art from Eway.
Eway's the best.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't just, come with this stuff on a whim. It's always stuff that's been in the works for a long time.
Right.
Ow.
It's like Chopper and Crypt King were playing for Giants.
So. I mean, Crypt King in particular, like he feels like a giant.
He really does.
Looks like a giant, plays like a giant, slow like a giant.
Spartan says, Punch Pop is Tree-Rex, Washbuckler, Snapshot, all my favorites, and they're in the starter pack. See, there you go. They really like did a good job picking which ones were going to be in the starter packs.
Yeah, for the most part. Like I think, I mean, like we've always said, there's a reason why Stealth Elf is in so many starter packs.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good character.
She really is.
Turns out she was fairly popular too, but just a good character in general. Like the ones I struggle with the most are honestly the Swap Force characters. Like yeah. I've never been a big fan of Washbuckler.
Said it before and I'll say it again. Blast Zone sticky bombs are the bane of my existence in PvP. They stick to you and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really avoid them at that point.
Sure. I mean, would that be about the same thing as like Scorp? Because he has those that stick to you?
I could see that being the case, yeah. Jojo says, or you could use Magnet Charge's Tertiary to pick up the boss while you deal with the spell punks. That could work. The only thing is, like, when you pick him up and you're carrying him around, that's not actually doing damage to him. It's just getting him out of the way while you are.
But could you...
Spell punks. But.
Can you actually pick him up? Sometimes boss characters like that you can't actually pick up. Or just if the character is too big, you can't pick him up.
Mm-hmm. Obsession says, yes, name the figures, their proper names, and he's taking the pictures for insurance. Gotcha.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
That's the way to do it. Got to catalog them. Which actually, now that I think about it, you could almost do that, like use Collection Crossing for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could, I mean, okay, you could just use my list if you wanted to get basic list done. But if you want to take your own pictures, you could just create another list, and because then you can add your own pictures there.
Yeah.
Should advertise it that way now.
Morning, Brian. Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
Oh, man. All right. Thank you for watching the chat while I play.
Yeah, of course. Martin says, so do you have all the glow-in-the-dark figures? I'm missing 2 from SSA, that's all, but I hadn't decided to collect them. Are you asking me or Matt? If you're asking me...
Probably you. I don't have them.
I have all 3 from Giants, and I have glow-in-the-dark Zap. I do not have Warnado or Wrecking Ball yet.
Zap's the best one anyway.
Yeah. Akasha says, at SCL Matt, I might be able to help you with variant pictures. Just let me know what you need.
I need all of them. Well, basically what I want is, like, I want all of the variant pictures, variant figures out of box, on a clean background, and preferably no shadows. So, like, when I post it on the site, it's just the figure. I mean, with either a white background or a, transparent background works for me too, obviously. However you go about doing that is up to you, but that's ultimately what I'm looking for. like I want high quality pictures of everything. So I mean, not only I can use them for the website, but then anytime any other projects that I'm working on, which like I said, I have a few in mind, and even just like my YouTube videos, like having high quality images of every figure with transparent backgrounds would be amazing. Usually I have to scrap something together every week, and that's honestly what takes up a lot of my time during editing, is finding all the right pictures. But if I had my own repository of pictures, that would speed things up tremendously.
Mm-hmm. Session says, at my age, I have to think of item worth to pass on to my family. I collect Coca-Cola, Skylanders, and say Trans Ams. I'm not quite sure what that is, but
okay. It's either an autocorrect of Transformers or a Trans Am is a car. Do you collect? I've never heard of anybody collecting Trans Ams because it's not like a fancy car. But that would be an interesting collection if you actually collect Trans Ams. Like I don't think they make them anymore.
Yeah. Aaron says, why is Robo rarer than Wildstorm? Well, he's not technically, as far as we know. Like, we don't know which is rarer than the other. But Robo is so much more valuable than Wildstorm because of quite a few different reasons. You know, he's very sought after, and that's because, you know, he was a Wave 5 figure, the last figure released of all figures at all. He was a Toys R Us exclusive. He was, I think you mentioned he's Wave 5.
Yep.
He unlocks the level, of course. And, you know, even like before his release, ever since, you know, we first saw pictures of him, everyone was like, that guy I want.
Yep. That was the figure they wanted. Yep. Absolutely.
And so
the same thing happened with Doomstone back in the day.
Yeah.
Like that was the character everybody wanted. And it always made me wonder if it's like, okay, these are the figures we're releasing in Wave 1 and Wave 2. Then we're going to see what people gravitate towards, or maybe they even like had focus groups ahead of time and said, okay, everybody wants that figure. That's Wave 5.
Yeah, that could be.
But yeah, because it feels like they almost always did a good job picking out which figures are coming out later to keep people interested in the games.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think the biggest difference between Robo and Wildstorm is Robo came out last.
Right. Yeah, if Wildstorm came out last, it would be a little bit different.
I think, yeah, Robo would still be a more desirable character from a design standpoint, but I think because Wildstorm came out last, he would have been at least equal to Robo, if not higher.
Yeah, and nowadays, you know, like Robo, everyone knows, hey, Robo, that's the big expensive guy. If I have him, that means that I can show him off to everyone. So it's sort of this cycle of, you know, everyone wants him because they can show him off, and it's just sort of goes back and forth like that.
Yeah, it's almost like a status thing.
Yeah. Here's falling quite a bit behind on chat here. Let's see. Martin asks, I know you can level up the minis, but can the same thing be said about the originals? So yes, sidekicks and minis are virtually the same thing. No matter what game you place them in, they have the same functionality as each other. So pre-trap team, all compatible minis and all sidekicks act as sidekicks. And in Trap Team and beyond, both sidekicks and minis are fully playable.
Yep.
And they do show up separately in game. So I can't remember which one has like a certain like special tag or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's the sidekicks that do, if I'm not mistaken.
That'd be my guess.
But so they do show up separately. So if you have, say, you know, both Barclays, they'll both show up in your collection menu. But yeah, so they both act the same. Jojo says you can pick up shielded characters once you use Magnet Charge as secondary to take them out of the shields, so you might be able to pick up the boss.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Martin asks, how was the pictures I sent of the Superchargers garage boxes, Matt?
Oh, those are fine. Yeah. I don't end up using them because like that's not how I'm selling it. Like I just have the box. I don't have it new in package or anything like that. So I realize the box that I have is actually missing some of the toy parts on the inside. Like it actually came with like a little tower that you could stand up, like an air control tower, and a little road blockade and something else too.
I can't quite remember, but
yeah, but they really did try to make it like a play set. So I just have the box, so I just use a picture of the box.
Gotcha.
But thank you for sending those anyway.
Akasha says, SCL Matt, okay, I will see what I can do. I was thinking about getting one of those white photo boxes, which would give you visually what you are looking for.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to make a priority or anything. Like if you want to try a few shots, like I wouldn't even do the whole collection right away. Just like try a few shots and then we can talk and see if you want to keep going with it.
Obsession says, yes, the car. Where did I just go? I have 2, but I collect the 1 to 18 scale of the cars. 78 in total, some costing $300. Wow, that's really impressive.
I'm trying to think how big a 1/18 scale car is. That's bigger than Hot Wheels size, right?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I feel like it. Well, I'm not sure. Do you know how what the scale is for Hot Wheels?
I don't know, but it feels like I want to say Hot Wheels are like 1/24 or 1/48 or something like that. 1/18 scale is a traditional scale for models and miniatures. Sure. Yeah, they're saying for like die-cast cars, which I think are usually a little bit bigger. So they're probably not huge, but I think they're still bigger than Hot Wheels. Let's see. If Google can tell me what is the scale of Hot Wheels. Or maybe they're not. Are Hot Wheels not even scale models? Oh, 1/64.
Yeah, Joel. Thank you, Joel. He also said, 1/64. Thank you.
See, so someone knew that.
Spartan says, I probably won't ever start the last Skylanders game simply because of Robo. Well, that hurts to hear. I think it's an excellent game. Even if, Robo is a bit tough to get, I think it's still very much a game worth playing. And the senseis themselves are some of the best, the most well-made figures that Activision has put out for Skylanders. And I highly recommend them. Really, the senseis is the senseis and the creation crystals are the best parts about Imaginators. They have, the senseis have great designs and great move sets. Mm-hmm. You can't really go wrong with any of them. And to be able to create your own Imaginators, it's great. So I recommend getting the game and playing through it, even if you aren't able to get Robo, but that's totally up to you.
Yeah, I mean, without Robo, all you're missing out on is, you're not going to be able to collect 100% of the characters, and you'll miss out on one level and a few of the Imaginator pieces. But there's still hundreds of other Imaginator pieces you can get just by playing the game. And like I said, the figures are worth it. I think the levels are good. I know there's some discrepancy, some debate over that, just how good the game is actually, but I enjoyed it. So
yeah,
I would highly recommend at least getting the game and playing through it, even if you can't collect them all.
Mm-hmm. Obsession asks, when did they stop issuing the collection cards with the figures? All right, so the trading cards stopped with Superchargers, and that was because Skylanders Battlecast came out the same year. They didn't want fans to get too confused between the cards. Well, you know, I have this card that comes with Spitfire.
These, but you can't scan these.
Right. And so that's why they decided with Superchargers, they're not going to include the trading cards anymore, or the sticker codes. And it's because of Battlecast.
Yeah.
And actually, in the Superchargers starter packs, they actually came with a set of Battlecast cards. It came with Spitfire and Stealth Elf. There it is. Yep.
Yeah. This was included in the starter pack, and it had the same cards in every pack.
And that also extended to elites. So the elites that were released alongside Trap Team did come with cards and such like that. The ones that were released alongside Superchargers did not.
Super frustrating.
It really is.
That only half of the elites have cards.
Yeah.
Oh man, they messed up those elites so much. Like, it could have been such a good thing, and it did not turn out well.
Yeah, they didn't really sell very well. I personally thought that they were very much worth the price. You know, it's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't worth the price, but between the marketing and just like what people wanted or expected from them, I think, yeah, they didn't sell well at all.
Yeah,
like they're in fairly high demand nowadays.
But... yeah, they were not advertised very well at all.
I mean, the fact that
either,
you know, a new inbox Elite Spyro will sell for $50 today, but back then no one would pay $30 for it. I'm like,
right,
what's going on here?
Yeah, like
I mean, I even bought all of mine usually at GameStop when they had them buy one get one free. I'm like, I just because I saw that's the way they were going. Like, I might have picked up one or two right off the bat just to see what they were, but then the rest of them I just wait because they were sitting on the shelf, kind of like you do with all your variant chasing right now. It's like, well, yeah, if there's a bunch of them out there, I can wait. But man.
Joel says, so I didn't know this, but Activision has a rule that they don't make new games for a franchise unless it's valued at $100 million or more and can have a new game released each year.
I'd be interesting where you heard that rule. I mean, to be fair, it does kind of follow everything the major franchises they've done, at least. And yeah, they've really cut back and focused a lot of power on Call of Duty nowadays. But like, I don't think that would follow every franchise that they've ever done. So unless this is a new rule they put out, I think to me, I mean, I don't mean to discount you, but it feels like that is an observation that somebody made based on their recent track record.
I do know that there was at least something in the works for a 2020 release, or at least they were working on something in 2020 for Skylanders, but it was scrapped.
Interesting. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like I said, I mean, it would have been nice to have something for the 10-year anniversary. Because now, like I said, I don't see them doing anything like until another major anniversary, which for me would be like 15 years would be the next possibility, even.
Right.
Because I mean, what are they going to say? Yeah, hey, 12 years ago we launched Skylanders. Here it is again.
Yeah. Joe says, one day I will pay an exorbitant amount of money for a Robo new inbox. Oh boy.
Well, I got one new in box for you. It's a damaged box, but it's new in box.
Yeah. Martin says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Going on sale next Saturday.
There you go.
July 17th auction.
Martin says, every game released some sort of container for the figures except Imagineers. As far as I know, there was nothing that I saw. I'm assuming you mean like carrying cases and stuff like that.
That'd be my guess.
And, yeah, I can't quite remember. I don't think there were any released for Imaginators off the top of my head, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it feels weird that they wouldn't, other than like they knew they were settling down. Well, actually, no, I take that back, because most of the time it wasn't even Activision that released them. Most of the cases that came out were third party.
Right.
PowerA was one of the big, that's their thing. They make video game accessories, and so they always made most of the cases for the ones that were like straight up cases were usually PowerA cases. If they were more play sets, that could have been PowerA, but I think most of those were someone else actually.
Joel says, this is from their investment meeting straight from the mouth of the CEO.
Interesting.
That is really interesting.
I mean, that's definitely something the investors would like to hear. Right.
Aaron asks, how do you feel about NFC cards? Those white cards you can download Skylanders to like Robo and even Vivinda. I personally don't support the creation and distribution of NFC cards. It's piracy, and I don't think it's morally correct personally. And so I am not a fan of NFC cards personally.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I do not care for them at all. I refuse to buy them. I don't promote them. Like I understand why people want to use them, especially when it comes to like Robo and stuff, but it's not worth it. Like I said, if you get to play with everybody except Robo, if you get a complete collection with everybody except Robo, you're still doing well. So
that is very true. Stalwartine says, it's Pirate Dad? Yes, it's me. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to the stream.
Showing up late again.
Joel says it was more of a going forward for maximizing profits thing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, well, like once again, I stand by. Like the only thing they're working on is Call of Duty. So yes, they can put out a game every year and it gets 100 million at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, I would say like, man, why do people keep buying that stuff? But I mean, okay, I don't buy it every year. I did buy some. Actually, no, I didn't even buy it this year because I just played Call of Duty Warfare, which is free to play. But even with free to play games, other people do pay for upgrades and such. I don't. If it's free to play, I'm just gonna free to play.
Stalwartine says, my favorite accessory was the tower that could hold 8 figures in a portal. That was a pretty good one from SSA, the castle tower.
Is that the one that came with Wham Shell too?
No, that was the Skylanders Giants castle display case. This one was it was more like a 3D castle like tower.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So wait, what was the one that Wham Shell came with? Because I'm picturing the one you're talking about, but I was thinking Wham Shell came with that one. Right.
So this was just sort of a flat cube, and it looked like a castle on the front, and it was a Skylanders Giants display case.
Okay.
If you want, I can grab one. It's just right over there if you want me to show you.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah. If you got it.
Right back.
I mean, I've always just made that assumption, I guess, and I was wrong because that was one of those items that was before my time that I didn't get to see firsthand. Like I got into Skylanders in like 3 months after Giants launched, like December of that year. So, yeah, well, Giants was out, but I think any Giants display that was promoting Whamshell yet was long gone.
All right.
You only play Call of Duty for zombies? Come on, man.
This here is the
hold up.
Skylanders giant massive display
I
cage.
have way too much stuff turned on right now. Let's go here. There you go.
There we go. Yes, this is the one that came with Whamshell.
And yours, of course, still has Whamshell in it, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a new one.
I can see the plastic wrap still on there.
Yeah, I have one that has been opened.
Sure.
That's how we got my Whamshell, but yeah, it comes with the Whamshell single pack inside.
Like, I know that was one of the main ways people got Whamshell back in the day because he was so hard to find.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, there you go. Learned something new today.
Yeah, the tower display case came with a little sticker sheet, and that was it. That was what was inside.
Okay. What were the stickers just to put on the tower, or were they?
Yeah, I believe so. They're like, you could open the doors, and they had little slots where you could put a Skylander on, and you could sort of put a sticker on those slots.
That was the wrong button. Sorry about that.
Right, the right size and shape for that.
Hey, the good news about turning the game sound off is that I don't have to listen to Rufus.
There you go.
I still have to wait for him, but I don't have to listen to him.
Exactly. Yes, I am still here, and no, this one I'm keeping new in box.
That's the thing. Now you've had to buy 2 of those just so you could keep one in box.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Anyways, I do have a few other things still sitting over there if you want me to grab one of them to show off.
Oh, sure.
If anyone wants to see something from my collection.
I'm just going to be upgrading Skylanders, so I'm going to...
All right, well...
Here, I'll give you the big screen again.
All right. So this here is probably, like, in my opinion, the best piece in my collection over everything. And it is this business card here. Now, for those that don't know, this is Christopher Bruno's business card. Back in 2016, I took a trip to Toys for Bob headquarters. I couldn't go inside, but I managed to talk to someone outside. I didn't know who it was at the time, just some guy, and he gave me his business card before I left, and I still have it. And it's Christopher Bruno, QA manager at Toys for Bob, and I would later find out that that is the same guy who owns both known prototypes of Heartbreaker Buckshot. So that's pretty cool. But I'll cover up the contact info. But you can see here, this is what it looks like. It's got the Toys for Bob rocket there on the back, Tree Rex, and on the back here, it's got Chompy Mage, Skylanders Trap Team, Skylanders.com. There we go.
Suppose you like that too. It has Tree Rex on it.
Of course, yes. That's the best part. This is evidence that my pirate dad theory is correct.
Yes, you just happen to be visiting Toys for Bob. Yeah. I mean, going to work every day? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. What do you mean? Sorry, what did I say?
All right. Who else have we been playing with today? I don't know. I've only been playing with 3 characters today. I should probably pull someone else out of the box.
Yep.
It's not a business card without Tree Rex.
That is true.
There you go, Pirate Dad. You should create your own business cards.
Definitely. I'll put 3X on all of them.
I kind of wonder, I mean, if that card was like, well, that must have been an old card at the time he gave it to you, even. They had Trap Team advertised on the back of it. But the fact that he has Tree Rex on there, it's like, do you think like all the employees got to pick like their favorite character on the business card?
That's possible. Yeah. I'll have to, if that does happen to be his favorite Skylander in that case, then yeah.
Okay, so now the real question.
What's that?
The real question. Have you ever tried to contact him?
I have not. I have been planning to at some point, just because.
I mean, he gave you his contact information.
Yeah. But yeah, I might try and contact him. It has his email on here.
Yeah. Got anything else there to show off?
I do. I have a few things. Let me grab one. Let's see. What do we got? All right. So this is a pretty interesting thing right here. This is Easter Edition Legendary Light Core Chill.
I've always liked that one.
Yeah, it's really pretty. There's actually quite a few listings, surprisingly, online.
Which surprises me because I feel it's always a very forgotten about figure, or at least a packaging.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always talk about the Easter ones, and we talk about Swap Force and On when they had like the very visible Easter egg packaging, as opposed to just a regular box that has a egg cutout.
Mm-hmm.
Because like inside there, it's actually just the single pack, right?
It's not actually a single pack exactly. It's more just like the insert inside a single pack and is put in this box instead.
So it's actually a unique package then.
Yes.
Like I assumed like with the Wham Shell before, like it was actually the Wham Shell single pack that was in there, right?
Right. It's just straight up the Wham Shell single pack.
And it's kind of like when we had the LG Battleground stuff with Clear Whirlwind and Red Camo and stuff. Those were just 3 single packs they stuffed in the box.
Exactly.
So, but this you're saying is basically without the card.
I don't know if you could see inside very easily, but
yeah,
it's just basically the insert of the single pack, and they put it in here instead.
Sure. Okay. That makes me want that pack even more now.
It's got Legendary Chill on the side. Here's on the back.
Yeah, that'd be a nice shelf piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Easter Edition Legendary Light Core Chill. Pretty cool.
Yep.
I've always been a big fan of the Giants packaging. It's super colorful. Stallerton says, I need to get a Skylanders car with a custom Tree Rex hood ornament. Yeah, I would love to see that. That would be amazing.
Get together with Obsession and put it on a Trans Am.
There you go. Spartan asks, out of all the Skylander games, which one had the most sells? I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure Google knows. So I would probably just head that way and just say how many copies were sold per game.
Yeah, I mean, most of those are still going to be estimates because a lot of times companies don't release numbers that they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
My guess, and it's a pure guess just based on all the information that I have, would be that Swap Force actually sold the most.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because from what I understand, like the first 3 years were up. Like they did better.
The last 3 were the opposite.
The last 3 came back down the other way. But Swap Force, a lot of times people get the wrong impression because there was so much left over and so much left over on the shelves. but it's because they went into year 3 thinking, hey, we kept selling out last year, even in year 2, we need to create even more product.
Right.
So they did, but then Disney Infinity came in and cut back their market share significantly. And so even though they sold more copies than they've ever sold before, which I'm pretty sure they did that year, they still had a lot of excess at the end of the year. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's how I understand it, at least.
Yoshi asks, wait a minute, did Spyro, Gilgrunt, and Trigger Happy get single packs in the LG Battlegrounds pack? No, they did not. No. They came with random single packs, but those 3 were not among the possibilities that you could get. And I don't think any Spyro's Adventure single pack was possible either. I think it was like random up to a point, like they had a set.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they actually reproduced any figures for those starters, or if they just had leftover stock that they said, hey, throw these in there. But that's why it was always so surprising to me that they did actually produce the 2 variants that were only available there.
I think that sort of serves as an explanation as to why, because it gives people a reason to buy the excess stock. Like, it's a way to get rid of it.
Sure.
Well,
I ultimately, I think what happened was, they made a deal with LG, and so LG probably had to front all the cash for it. And so once that happened, like, Activision didn't care anymore what happened with the packs and the figures. It's like, we got our money from LG, and now they have to deal with it. What surprised me more is that they never announced that there were new variants. Like, obviously word of mouth did pretty well for them, but if you're going to do something that crazy, which to me is that crazy, I mean, you're adding new variants to a line that's 2 years old. Because this was during the time of Swap Force that these variants were coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I understand they're chase variants and they never announced chase variants, but
and like, wait, shoot, I was gonna say something, and I forgot.
Oh, good. I do that all the time.
Yeah. Joel asks, are there any serious collectors of Disney Infinity? There are. There's not many. I'm personally not one, but I know a few people that that are into them.
Yeah, I do as well. And back in the day when, like, I was on the Toys for Games podcast, like, one of the hosts of that show was more Disney than any of the others. Like, he loves Skylanders almost as much as I did, but he loved Disney more. And yeah, like, I don't know if he's actually sold off any of his Skylanders, but I know for sure he has not sold off any of his Disney stuff. So yeah, I mean, there are definitely Disney Infinity collectors out there, but at the same time, it's way cheaper and easier to get a complete Disney Infinity collection.
Exactly. Like, people say, there's like, really expensive Disney Infinity figures, some like as much as $100. And as someone coming from Skylanders, I look at that and I laugh because I'm comparing it in my head to Skylanders, which some go upwards of $400 plus.
Yep.
And with so many different figures, it's definitely daunting comparatively.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know Disney Infinity, like, all they really did, like, they had their standard set like Skylanders did, and then they had a like a crystal variant line for a few figures. Those were Toys R Us exclusive. And so, I mean, you understand our toys, like, I mean, that's like collecting legendary figures, right?
That's the equivalent.
They're not hard to get. So They had that, and then the only other piece that, well, no, there's kind of two. There's one piece that was only distributed at D23, which is their Disney's convention. There was a clear Sorcerer Mickey, which they did eventually, I believe, make a clear Sorcerer Mickey at retail, but it's slightly different than the one they released at D23 a few years earlier.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And so, like, the D23 version, of course, is the one that everybody wants.
Of course.
That one, yeah, might be $100. I don't know. Like, but even if it was $300, it's like it's the only $300 figure. Skylanders has multiple $300 figures. So they got that one piece there. And the only other one I can think of is right before they called it quits, they were about to release a Peter Pan figure. This was one that was like voted on by the fans. Like, what figure do you want us to make next? And Peter Pan, okay, yay. And then they got like halfway through production, and then it's like, nope, we're done with Disney Infinity. We're stopping. And so it was never released. Now, there were a number of them made, and a number of them have made their way out of China or whatever, wherever they manufacture them. And so some people have them. I know I like the guy I was talking about before, that the host of the podcast. I think he ordered like 5 of them once.
Oh, wow.
Relatively cheaply. And so, I mean, even that, I almost want to compare it to like our unreleased Creation Crystals or a Heartbreaker Buckshot or something, but
it's not to the same degree. But
yeah, it was falling down the same line, except I think they got further into production, and so there are more of them readily available.
Right. And I even actually, while I was looking for Skylanders stuff the other day on eBay, I found a few Peter Pan figures that were like, $225, I want to say.
Okay. And I'd be, I mean, well, maybe nowadays someone would pay that if they're a collector, but I know at one point you could definitely get them cheaper.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you wait long enough until one pops up, you could.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about all I can think of for Disney Infinity. That's all I got.
Jill says, but certainly there's more serious Skylanders collectors than Disney Infinity. I would say probably. I mean, I don't really keep tabs on the Disney Infinity community at all, so I can't say I know for sure, but I know there are tons and tons and tons of like serious Skylanders collectors.
Yeah, I think that's hard to say unless you're actually in the community, because from the outside, Skylanders looks like it's dead.
Right, exactly.
Because I still come across people in the Facebook groups saying, yeah, Skylanders is dead. I've been trying to sell my Skylanders forever. Nobody wants to buy them and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, you're just not talking to the right people.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Or you're asking too much. Because there are still people out there that they want to get list price for their Skylanders. And I'm like, you're not going to get, I mean, unless we're talking Imaginators, you're not going to get list price anymore.
Right. I've seen people try and sell Washbuckler for $10.
I never understand that. Like, they just don't understand the economy or how things work, or
they don't know enough about what they're selling.
Yeah, or they never were into Skylanders. They inherited them from someone else or found them at a garage sale or an estate sale or something. It's like, oh, these are collectible things, $10.
Right, and they don't do enough research. Like, they'll look at and say, oh, well, this figure here is selling for $10, and there's a whole bunch of figures selling for $10. This should probably go for $10.
Yeah, this Doomstone figure that looks just like this Washbuckler figure is selling for $20. So all the swappers must sell for $20, right?
And you can't really fault someone for saying that. Like, they just don't know enough, and that's not really their fault. It's just,
I mean, that's why I always say, like, you can try to sell things for whatever you want. But if you're looking to find the current value of a product, you can't judge it by what people are asking for it on eBay, because people ask for ridiculous things because they don't do their research.
Let's see here. Joel says, my girlfriend performed at D23 that year. That's really cool.
Awesome.
Wow.
Makes me wonder who your girlfriend is.
Yeah. Chase says, I own one of the Peter Pan figures.
Nice.
That's really cool. Congrats. Stalwatching says, it's sad that game will never be complete. They plan to do Moana characters. I think they also plan to do Doctor Strange, but I could be wrong. I know they did plan to do Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah, I remember hearing about Moana. Like, that was coming out right at that time. That would have been a great playset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of good things planned, but I stand by. They made some poor choices in how to run the game, and there's some poor execution, and they got over ambitious. Put it that way. They saw what Skylanders was doing. They wanted a piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
And they did things the way the only way that Disney knows how is to go big or go home.
Right.
And so they went all out. They put all their eggs in one basket, and unfortunately it didn't. They could have learned a little bit more along the way.
Right, definitely.
Take a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
All right. What other questions you got for Pirate Dad? We'll have him here. Got half an hour more.
Yeah. And while they're loading in, if you don't mind, give me just one moment. I think
go for it.
Cat is misbehaving.
Yeah, go deal with your cat. I got this.
Yeah, I just gotta let him outside is all. Give me just a moment.
You're an outdoor cat. Got it. Yoshi, am I done with Swap Force? I mean, we beat Chaos and we played the adventure pack levels. So yes, I'm done with Swap Force. That is, I mean, I've just been playing like bonus level stuff because like I said, I feel Swap Force has so much extra content. Like I got to play some of it, right? So I've been working through that for the past week or so, just getting some random stuff done. Like I've been debating whether or not I should continue just playing the bonus content of Swap Force, or if I need to just move on to another game. So I kind of want to move on to another game. So actually, with that being said, Pirate Dad, I'll get your opinion on this too. But which game do I play next? Superchargers or Imaginators?
Superchargers or Imaginators? Well, I mean, Superchargers is my favorite game, and I know we were talking earlier, saying that I forget what we were saying. Might have had to do with Hot Streak or something, but that
yeah, there was some reason I said I should play Superchargers next. Yeah. So was it just to pull out my figures and check which one I have?
That might have been it.
Yeah. All right, we got two.
Skylander says he does not look like his profile pic I always see. Yeah, that is a picture from a few years ago. At this point,
Have to update your profile pic, man.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I look a little different now.
People grow up. There you go. We got to vote for Superchargers. Vote for Superchargers Racing.
Oh boy!
Come on. I actually don't think. Okay, so here's the deal. I don't know how much I've ever told people about this, but like, I actually bought a Wii U just so I could play with Bowser and Donkey Kong. Because I didn't like I had sold my Wii years ago, and so then I had the Wii U, and now I've sold the Wii U just this past year because like this was before I got back into Skylanders. I'm like, yeah, I don't need this thing. It was in the middle of a pandemic when like video game systems were skyrocketing in price. Like I sold my Wii U for $250.
Oh wow!
Like it did have 1 or 2 games with it, and maybe a extra controller. Yeah, I probably had the Pro controller because I couldn't stand playing with the whole pad, which is weird to say now because that's exactly what the Switch is.
That's what the Switch
is. But I don't know. There was something weird about it back then. So yeah, now I don't think I have a way to play. Well, I could play it up.
Imaginators, right?
Yeah, Switch is the Imaginators.
And so you play them on
play out there. I could play it on my 3DS, but I don't have a good way of streaming that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I wanted to get that Wii U bundle is for the Wii U, because up until then I had no way to play as them. I had the figures and they were sitting there forever. And, you know, I had Superchargers Racing, but you can't really play as them though with that, you know.
Yeah, you don't get to see their moveset or anything like that. You're just
right.
Oh yeah, pick your driver. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways, I did pull over the things that I had over there, and I have them sitting here for whenever we're good. But any other? Let's see what we got going on.
Go for it. Yeah.
For Aaron's vote for Superchargers.
And other vote, yeah, lots of vote for Superchargers. Wow. I thought there would have been some votes for Imaginators, but I guess we're playing Superchargers next.
People don't like Imaginators. I know that to be true.
That seems so weird to me. I mean, like, it's been years since I've played, but I remember liking Imaginators. So.
Yeah, I liked Imaginators. Okay. I thought it was a decent game.
Do you think well, no, you said Superchargers is your favorite, isn't it? I was gonna say, do you think Superchargers is better than Imaginators?
I do.
Of course you do. Yeah.
I do.
What is this? The world record holder for speedrunning Imaginators selling copy of his overall save. Wow. Yeah, the duplicate Imaginator parts. That
is a legitimate way of going about it for speedrunning. Pretty smart.
You can just one-shot everything, yeah. That makes sense. There you go. We got to vote for Imaginators. I like it. Or at least some love for the game. I'm not completely alone on this.
Excuse me.
Yoshi, I love this. I love this a lot. Yeah.
SWAP Force is one of the most popular games of all of them, and I don't know. For me, it's more towards the bottom of my list.
I think a lot of people's love for SWAP Force comes because either that's when they joined the franchise, so it was the first game they played, or because you could finally jump.
Yeah.
And so they have that memory triggers in their head, and it's like, oh yeah, that was the best game. It got so much better. I still think it's one of the weakest entries. Like I don't care for it. Like
to a lot of people on the Discord communities, and like there's a lot. I might even say the majority of people came in with SWAP Force.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're saying. Like, Skylanders was almost like an underground game. During Spyro's Adventure, it was like an underground game. Giants got a little more acclaim because it had the numbers to prove it. And so, like, the media and stuff started covering it a little bit more. And then, yeah, SWAP Force was the breakout year. And then, oh, there's competition? What? Disney? Okay, let's cover Disney. Like, So yeah, I mean, I get it. That's when, or I mean, it was even. I'm sure there were people that went down that aisle for Disney and said, "Hey, what's this Skylanders thing?"
Right.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. That falls right in line with what we were saying before. Which one is sold the most? We think it's Swap Force because that was the entry point for a lot of people. But it just blows my mind how many people still claim that Swap Force is their favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
Really, if Rufus was not in the game, then it would be number one, of course.
No.
No.
I mean, Rufus definitely does not help their cause at all, but it's not the only reason.
Wow. We've been streaming for that long already. Hour and 40.
Yes, sir.
That is crazy.
Got 20 minutes left.
Got 20 minutes left.
Never got around to playing Imaginators. Man, multiple people now in this stream already. Never played Imaginators.
Yeah.
That blows my mind as well. Like, you've had 5 years. What have you been doing?
Well, I know that, a lot of people were disappointed with Superchargers, and therefore, just because of that, fell off the franchise. And
I'll give them that.
It just stuck like that, like all the way through.
See, I'm telling you, Vicarious Visions was not good for this franchise.
Joel asks, Pirate Dad, do you think there are any other figures out there we don't know about in the same vein as Happy Birthday Ben Starcast? Well, I don't personally believe that there are, but that is always the case, and I am proven wrong pretty often. So it's hard to say for sure. I mean, yeah, I don't think that there are. It's possible that maybe someone created a physical Vivind Up figure, because it was originally intended to be the employee exclusive Christmas variant for Swap Force. So it's possible there was one created, but I don't think that would be enough to say it's an official figure. That would be in the same case as the Haldor prototype and stuff like that for in the Chaos figures. All those prototypes that we've seen at Toys for Bob, it'd be in the same case as those. Other than that,
what gets it for me, like I doubt there is, because even though Happy Birthday Ben Starcast was like essentially like a private order from Tom Brady saying, "Hey, I'm also curious how much he had to pay for that," but but even though it was kind of a one-off order, private order, never seen at retail type of thing, the official Skylanders Twitter account still tweeted a picture of it.
Right. And it was also distributed to a few members of the core Skylanders team.
Sure. Just not at retail. So, I mean.
Right. It was distributed outside of that birthday party.
Yes.
And, I mean, there were other figures that were not distributed at retail.
Well, yeah.
Trade show.
The employee
editions, yeah. There's.
What was the first one you mentioned?
Trade show.
Oh, yeah.
Not retail. But I mean, Happy Birthday Ben Starcast was a very special case, and I don't think that there were actually any. I don't think there really is any other possibility as to there being any other figures. Of course, we're considering Special Hot Streak. We're considering the 3D printed Imaginator and the Imaginator card as being separate figures, and so there could be, as many as 603. Maybe there's another case for another figure, but I don't think there is. And I would love to be proven wrong.
As much as it hurts your wallet.
As much as it hurts my wallet, exactly.
I was all, what on earth is this weirdness, when I first saw the SSA section of Walmart, until I tried to figure out the portal. That's exactly why they had those there.
Yep.
They needed to show you the magic.
Right. And of course, they also serve to help you decide which figure you get. You get a little preview of what their game is like. And
I never even bothered with that. I mean,
well, of course, I didn't either, but that was part of the reason. It's, you know, I'm deciding between figure A and figure B. Well, let me put them both on the little portal, see what they're like in game, and I can decide, oh, you know, I want figure B instead.
That totally makes sense. And I mean, I had the luxury. I was always an adult when I was buying these. So if I wanted to buy them, I bought them. Whereas you going in there as a kid and maybe you had a limited amount of money to spend, then you had to maybe be a little more judicious with those choices.
Right.
So I get it. That makes sense.
You sort of get to sample the gameplay without actually having to purchase the figure first.
Yeah. I mean, that was a master stroke. Whoever said, hey, we should put a sample station in the store.
Yeah.
And
but
then
they
also actually got stores to agree to it.
Oh yeah, that too. That
takes up a lot of shelf space.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really kind of genius. And also, you know, showing people the magic of Skylanders. You know, you can put this thing on this thing and it's able to read it and recognize the character, and you know, it can save data on the figure. And yeah.
It's awesome. Answer this question once again.
Well, that depends on how you define it. If you're talking about just, you know, the 600 figures that there are, as of last night, I have 562. But, you know, of course, my collection expands beyond there. Trading cards, collector cards, you know, stickers, lunchboxes, posters, factory errors, prototypes, you name it.
Do you have the Skylander shampoo?
I do not have a Skylanders shampoo, but I know that there is one.
That's why I asked about it. They just went crazy with the licensing after a while, and there's all sorts of Skylander stuff out there.
Yeah, I have a Skylanders beach ball. I have 2 separate Skylanders alarm clocks. You know, it's
so the question is, like, do you collect all things Skylanders, or do you draw the line, or like if you found the shampoo, would you buy it?
Well, I do collect all things Skylanders, and so that would be something I would want to get at some point. But just because I saw it doesn't mean I would get it right away. Just because, you know, might be other things more worth going for that are, you know, again, that same case might not be there next week.
Yeah.
You know. For example, perfect segue into this.
What do you got?
I have a Double Trouble figure, but this one here, might notice, is a little different than your standard Double Trouble. Sorry, my camera's like mirrored, so I'm trying to get it angled up, but
I understand.
So this is Japanese Double Trouble.
Interesting.
Notice even on the card there.
Yeah.
The back. This is the Japanese release of Double Trouble. So in Japan, Skylanders had a very limited release, and in fact, it wasn't even released in the same order. For example, Whamshell was a Wave 1 figure over there during the release. And the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure release, like, the release cycle lasted a couple of years at least, I think. It was like 3 years, I want to say.
Wow.
And it was the only place where you could get Spyro's Adventure for the Wii U. They had a Wii U starter pack. But other than that, yeah, they had a very limited release. I don't think they got any of the in-game variants or chase variants. It was just, you know, they had the Wii U starter pack, the 3DS starter pack, and maybe like one other starter pack. And then they had the single pack regular characters, and that was it. And it was all just Spyro's Adventure. That didn't go past Skylanders Spyro's Adventure.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just didn't play as well over there.
Right.
But yeah, they tried, and then that they gave you. So more of those Japanese single packs exist then?
Yes.
Like
so
all the figures.
Yeah, for I mean, they're out there for.
Is it the whole line?
It is. I mean, they had the 4 adventure packs, and then like the other single pack figures. There weren't any triple packs or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was the 4 adventure packs. a couple starter packs, and then just single packs for the rest of them. And it was the whole line, I believe, but that was it. There was no volcanic vault. There was no variants.
They didn't. You said they did have the starter pack.
Yeah, so they had.
It was the same starter pack.
No. Yeah, it was the same 3DS starter pack with Dark Spyro. So sorry, actually they did have that in game variant, but yeah. So it was Wii U, 3DS, and I want to say maybe one or two other starter packs.
But so like Spyro, Trigger Happy, and Gil Grunt were still in the starter pack. They didn't have the single packs of those.
No, they did not have the single packs.
Okay. But
if you or any of the people in the stream today are interested in taking a look at the release, if you go to darkspyro.net, and you'll be able to find like the entire release order and all of the packs for Japanese Spyro's Adventure.
Sure. Have either of you known someone who had an E3 2011 figure?
I have not known anyone personally.
Yeah.
I do know that Robert Welkner from CoinOp TV had a Gil Grunt single pack, and unfortunately, he, like most people, looked at it and was like, "Oh, this is in the starter pack. There's a zillion of these," and gave it away to, which is quite unfortunate. But
yep. Yeah, like he was, like I said, he was one of those media members back in the day who was just kind of early on the scene of covering video games, and so
exactly,
yeah, they definitely sent him one.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate because, like I said, that's why there's not going to be many of those around.
Right, especially the Gil Grunt. I don't know why that specifically, but I haven't been able to find a picture of a Gil Grunt still new in box. I know that there are one. I've found a picture of one out of box, with the box still sitting next to it, and I found sealed Spyro and Trigger Happy like pictures of them. But there are very few and far between.
Like I said, that kind of shows the growth of video game coverage over the years. How, like, if anything was sent out like that nowadays, there'd be thousands of pictures of it on the internet.
Right.
Whereas back then, it's like no one even considered it worth taking pictures of. Like,
exactly.
It's here's this item. Yeah, bring it to the show and test it out, and then write about it, hopefully. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is.
But you can be sure if one ever pops up on eBay, I'm going to be the first one.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Black Friday, yes, did save your budget back in the day. I believe that. People always look forward to that.
Definitely. Bumble Blaster has Skylanders shampoo. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
I think Akasha really likes your Japanese figure there.
I think so.
Here, do you have all the comics?
I do not, actually. I have most of them. I am missing Unexpected Allies. I do not have that one. And I think there might be one other that I'm missing. I mean, I don't have every version of every comic book because, there were the micro comics that came in the micro comic fun packs. And, there were paperback releases, there were hardcover releases, and there were, variant covers, just like with most of any other comic book line. But I don't have every version of every comic book, but I have just about every story except for Unexpected Allies.
There you go.
Yes.
Just to confirm, SSA was the only game released in Japan?
Correct. Yes, it was.
Do you know what? It's a good idea to release something and there's no way to buy it.
What do you mean by that? I'm not.
I was gonna say what exactly? I mean, are you talking about like Happy Birthday Ben or what? I mean,
In the cases of the employee exclusives, they were specifically created as a thank you gift for Christmas and the winter holidays for the team. And so, of course, not everyone that worked on the Skylanders games plays the Skylanders games, and so they ended up getting over to eBay eventually, and sites like that. But so with that specifically, with employee variants, that is why they were created. It was a Christmas gift.
And most of the time, like I said, they didn't even advertise those like on social media or anything. Maybe they might have started doing it a little bit in the later games when they started giving them actual names. They may have mentioned them once or twice, but most of the time they were trying to keep them under wraps, and they, they're going to leak out. Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's wondering, like, the yawn traps are red camo. Well,
I mean, they were available for purchase. Like, every country that releases that had Skylanders for sale had like their own exclusive figures. Australia had yawn traps. I know that glow in the dark Sonic Boom never made it over to Europe. Stuff like that. Like every, even Germany specifically had Pearl Hex. Like, and the UK had Punch Pop Fizz single pack and Legendary Light Core Chill, the Easter edition. And so, it's every single country had cases like that.
And so, I mean, the yawn traps were released. They just weren't released in America. And part of their thought process behind that was always, well, you don't need every mold to complete the game or even play the game.
Right. If it was a character, that would be different.
Yeah. If they said, hey, we're not going to release Wallop in America, only in Australia, I mean, that'd be weird.
A yawn trap has the exact same functionality as any other trap. There's not really a need to, and especially with, the case with Trap Team and how many figures they produced, they were just not selling them, or they weren't being sold. And so for a case where it's, the last 3 traps for Wave 5, well, they don't need to put so much money behind traps that no one's going to buy. We all know how many water traps were left over all the way through the end. Like, no one was buying them. And so, it would just cost them more money than they would make to really go all out with the yawn traps.
Yeah. I mean, Martin, you want to call it a bad idea because it didn't work out the way you wanted it. But would you say it's a bad idea if you lived down in Australia and you got access to the yawn traps and now you could resell them all for $300 a piece? Then is it a bad idea to you?
There's a lot of figures that didn't make it to Australia or Europe, which is really unfortunate, but it's the way it played out.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, and I don't like the way they handle it, but I can also understand why they did it that way.
Right.
So, yeah, as a collector, it definitely sucks. Definitely sucks. But I think, well, at least for us here in the States, we're pretty fortunate that, that's one of just a few things that we have to hunt down.
Yeah. Oh boy. I just looked up at the time there. Oh boy. Wow.
All right. Last question here.
Pirate Dad, what are some standout figures you are missing out of the 600? Well, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, Whisper Elf Mini was the last non-variant Skylander that I needed. So everything from here on out is a variant Skylander that I need. And also, Whisper Elf Mini is really the last figure that's not really a rare figure that I need. Because, it was hard to find, but it's not really in the same league as what we consider truly rare figures like Gold and Bronze Doomstone and stuff like that. But standout figures I'm missing, I would say definitely Heartbreaker Buckshot is always my go-to answer for that question. Other than that, though, it's just really mainly chase variants in general. Oh, Happy Birthday Ben Starcast. That is another one, and it is definitely the rarest released Skylander.
Yep.
And
so are all the ones you need now chase variants, or are there still some in-game you need?
So Heartbreaker Buckshot is an in-game, and then because it falls under both umbrellas, Flocked Springtime Trigger Happy is the other in-game variant that I need.
Okay. But otherwise they're all chase?
Otherwise they are all chase.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, with that, it is 3 o'clock my time. I need to get out of here. So Pirate Dad, once again, thank you for joining me. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me. I know sort of with like the back half, we just sort of went away with the gameplay in the background. There,
I was okay with that. That's why I intentionally labeled this one Skylanders Discussions with Pirate Dad as opposed to casual gameplay like I usually do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think this kind of just reiterated, like, I'm done with Swap Force. I want to move on to another game. So, thank you everybody for hanging out. It's been a blast. I will be back again. Well, okay. Here's what's probably going to happen. I have 3 packages that are currently scheduled to arrive on Saturday. I'm pretty sure at least one of them is going to arrive tomorrow, because it's at that St. Paul, Minneapolis hub already. And usually when it hits there, it's here the next day. So I should have at least one tomorrow. So look for an unboxing tomorrow, probably another unboxing on Saturday. We also have the auctions, SCL auctions. We are auctioning off the remaining 12 elite figures that I have, as well as who knows what else. I think I said I'm going to throw that dragon up there that was in one of the unboxings recently, as well as a bunch of other broken figures. Like, something that'll happen regularly is if it didn't sell one week in the auctions, it'll be relisted the next week. So like all the broken figures I had listed during the test phase that didn't sell, those will be relisted this week. So yes, Yoshi, there were 14, but I did have someone contact me privately. As I always say, if you contact me privately and want to buy stuff, let me know. I actually had someone contact me and bought 2 of them. So we are down Gil Grunt and Trigger Happy. So we have the other 12. But I will get those up for preview tomorrow if you're interested in checking those out. But yeah, the auctions will be up basically all day Saturday then. So feel free to check those out. All right. Pirate Dad, any last words?
I just really thank you for having me. Like, honestly, it's been a blast just chatting with you and chatting with the chat.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll talk soon. See ya.